we see it. Okay? The last thing is I want to share this story from the Bible, man. And it's from Luke 15, 11 through 24. How many of y'all know what that is? The prodigal son. And I'm going to read it with you, then I'm going to share some things with you, then I'm going to get out your way. So in chapter 15, verse 11, it says, Then he said, a certain man had 2 sons. And the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falls to me. So he divided to them his livelihood. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together, journeyed to a far country, and there wasted his possessions with righteous living. So now the son done got his money, he done went to Las Vegas, and then blew it. Okay? But when he had spent all, there arose a severe famine in the land, and he began to be in want. He then went and journeyed himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into his fields to feed the swine or the pigs. And he would gladly have filled his stomach with the pods that the swine ate, and no one gave him anything. But when he came to himself, he said, How many of my father's hired servants have bread enough to spare, and I perish in hunger? That's deep. I will arise and go to my father, and will say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you, and I am no longer worthy of being called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants. And he arose and came to his father. But when he was still a great ways off, his father saw him and had compassion, and ran and fell to his neck and kissed him. And the son said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in your sight, and I am no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father said to his servants, Bring out the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his hand and sandals on his feet. And bring the fatted calf here and kill it, and let us eat and be merry. For this my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. And they began to be married. So the whole point behind that is that this prodigal son thing shows a picture of God's love for his children. His love doesn't depend on if we are right or wrong, or good or bad. It's unconditional. He loves us while we were still sinners, while we were still out there getting in trouble, while we were still out there doing everything that we can find to do. Our Father still loves us. And that's the way we gotta have that same type of love for our children. They gonna sin, they gonna make mistakes, they gonna do things not the right way, but that unconditional love. When that man saw his son was wanting to come back, he ran out to meet him. He didn't sit there and wait for him to come. He ran out to meet him, and they had a party. A party, because the son that came to his senses and understood that, yeah, I asked for this. And that's a lot of times what our children do. A lot of times they want something before they're ready to receive it. And if they want something and before they are ready to receive it, what are they going to do? They're going to mess it up. They're going to mess it up every time. Okay? So no matter what you've done, we have to be willing to forgive and own up to our mistakes. You know, because Christ keeps forgiving us, man. You know what? He forgave us this much. Did y'all know that means? He loved us that much on the cross. Okay? Forgive us of our sins. Okay? All right. This last thing right here, it says, and I promise you, I'll finish it down. Okay? This last thing I want to leave you with. And it's a little quote that I found, that I saw, that I like. And it's going to be titled Advice to the Fathers. It says, do all the good you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as you can. just want to say thank you.